The story unfolds with Lord Godless, the evil warlord and master of the Godless Palace, driven by his greedy thirst for power and dominion over vast lands of China. He cunningly schemes to seize the throne, employs his loyal assistant, Eunuch Cho, as a covert operative and forces the general in command into aiding his treacherous plot. Exploiting a specially concocted poison, Lord Godless subdues numerous martial arts masters, among them the renowned legend, Nameless, and even succeeds in capturing Cloud, Nameless' formidable disciple, who willingly sacrifices his freedom to ensure the safety of his beloved Chu Chu, who is also held hostage. Upon the execution grounds, Lord Godless sadistically torments his captives. His son, Heart, reveals they successfully dethroned the Emperor of China, demanding the master's allegiance or facing immediate execution. However, in the face of his threats, not a single master capitulates to their vile demands. Representing the collective will of the masters, Nameless resolutely refuses to surrender China into their grimy hands, thereby provoking Heart to issue the order for their immediate execution. The coerced general in command reluctantly steps forward to carry out the orders, but Nameless breaks free from his chains, ready to engage them in combat. Unbeknownst to Lord Godless, Nameless' loyal assistant, Ghostly Tiger, had secretly infiltrated earlier, distributing an antidote to Godless poison among all the masters, allowing them to remain conscious. Following Nameless' lead, Cloud also breaks free, launching an assault on Heart, who skillfully defends against the onslaught before turning his attention to Godless himself. However, to their dismay, Godless appears invincible, retaliating with force and sending Cloud flying backwards. Witnessing this, the other masters break free from their captivity, uniting their strengths in a desperate attempt to assail the Godless. Yet, even their combined assault proves futile, as Godless ruthlessly tears them apart. With no one left to oppose him, Nameless' other disciple, Wind, steps forward to confront the Godless. Yet, like his comrades before him, Wind's attack proves ineffectual against the seemingly impervious warlord, leading Godless to taunt Cloud and Wind. Determined to vanquish China's nemesis, Nameless, still weakened from the poison, gathers the swords of the fallen masters, mustering his ultimate legendary technique against him. Despite the indomitable nature of Godless' armor, he manages to break through the formidable attack, inflicting severe wounds upon Nameless. Ghostly Tiger, accompanied by a group of martial artists, arrives just in time to rescue Nameless, Cloud, Wind, and Chu Chu from the havoc wreaked by Godless. Seeking refuge away from Godless' grasp, Nameless acknowledges the time needed for his recovery from the poison. He also recognizes the potential for growth in Wind and Cloud, realizing that their skills require further development to stand a chance against the Godless. However, pressed for time and lacking the luxury to hone their abilities, their only hope lies in the elder brother of Piggy King, Lord Wicked, the sole individual capable of vanquishing Godless. Meanwhile, news of the enemy's imminent approach reaches Nameless, prompting him to task Piggy King with escorting Wind and Cloud to seek aid from Lord Wicked. Concurrently, Godless orders Heart to locate Nameless and his group, with instructions to obliterate any martial arts schools obstructing their path, should they dare defy Godless' command. Carrying out the orders, Heart embarks on a merciless rampage across the country, ruthlessly slaying innocent martial artists who dare to resist the wicked warlord's commands. In their quest to win over Lord Wicked's support, Piggy King leads Wind, Cloud, and Chu Chu to Xingxi Men. There, Wind and Cloud kneel for an entire day, desperately hoping to catch Lord Wicked's attention. However, their efforts prove in vain as Lord Wicked remains elusive. Hungry and weary, the group is on the verge of despair when Second Dream, Lord Wicked's niece and Wind's beloved, approaches them. Driven by her love for China, Second Dream endeavors to persuade Lord Wicked to aid their cause. After countless rejections, Second Dream falls to her knees, finally prompting Lord Wicked to break his silence. Unexpectedly, Lord Wicked hurls a handful of pebbles toward Cloud and Wind, then emerges from his secluded cave, revealing his armless form. The sight shocks the onlookers as Lord Wicked discloses his past transgressions. Lost in the depths of his evil kung fu practice, he succumbed to the influence of malevolent spirits, leading to the senseless killing of innocent lives. In an effort to prevent further bloodshed, Lord Wicked made the drastic decision to sever his own arms. Regrettably, this sacrifice left him bereft of the strength necessary to defeat the Godless. He explains that the mastery of supreme martial arts cannot be attained in a short span of time. The only path to vanquishing the godless lies in the practice of evil kung fu. Lord Wicked examines Cloud and Wind's hands and discerns that only Wind possesses the requisite calm nature to undertake the training, as Cloud's aggression would make him susceptible to turning to the dark side. Reluctantly, Wind beseeches Cloud to end his life should he succumb to the evil forces and begin to harm others after acquiring the skills of evil kung fu. Meanwhile, Lord Wicked initiates Wind's training by mingling his blood with the malevolent waters of an evil pool. Simultaneously, Nameless summons Cloud to the Linging Temple, where he is waiting for him. Cloud arrives at the temple only to be confronted by a mysterious masked man poised for combat. In a flash, the masked man launches a fierce attack, and the two engage in a relentless battle, exchanging blows with astonishing speed and skill. Even when confronted with the masked man's legendary attack, Cloud demonstrates remarkable agility and successfully parries the strike. In a surprising twist, the masked man unveils his true identity, revealing himself to be Nameless. Impressed by Cloud's fighting prowess, Nameless decides to bestow his powers upon him. However, due to the lingering effects of the poison attack, Nameless's powers are significantly diminished, amounting to only a mere fraction of their former strength. Consequently, Nameless opts to impart unique sword techniques to Cloud. According to Nameless, it is essential for both Cloud and Wind to join forces in order to vanquish Godless and save China. Thus, Nameless commences Cloud's training, while Wind delves deeper into the practice of evil kung fu under Lord Wicked's watchful guidance. In their relentless pursuit of dominion over China, Godless and Heart make the fateful decision to venture into the Dragon Tomb, a sacred vault that holds the future of the nation. Godless, driven by his desire to share China with the one who discovers the way to the tomb, tasks Heart with uncovering the elusive path. News of Nameless and his group's whereabouts reaches their ears, prompting Godless to dispatch Sky and Earth to pursue Nameless while his evil warriors set out to capture the others in Xingxi Men. Recognizing that the Emperor holds the key to accessing the Dragon Tomb, Godless and Heart seize the Emperor and his family as hostages, embarking on their journey to the tomb. However, at the entrance, when Heart demands information about the correct route, the Emperor adamantly refuses to divulge it. Under the watchful guidance of Nameless, Cloud makes remarkable progress, mastering 23 distinct sword styles. Nameless christens Cloud's unique fighting style as Ba, a name that embodies both Cloud's essence and his weapon. Just as the evil warriors, accompanied by Sky and Earth, descend upon the temple to capture Nameless, they are met with Cloud's resolute resistance. Displaying his newfound sword skills, Cloud confronts them, defeating Sky and Earth with a single blow, leaving himself astounded by his own prowess. Meanwhile, the evil warriors storm Xingxi Men, engaging in a fierce battle against Lord Wicked, Chu Chu, and Second Dream. During the skirmish, Second Dream sustains injuries, but before she collapses, Wind intervenes, abandoning his evil training to save her. Empowered by his newfound dark abilities, Wind dispatches the evil warriors with astonishing ease, swiftly vanquishing them before fleeing, leaving the others in a state of distress. In their quest to reach the Dragon Tomb, they encounter multiple paths, yet Heart's powers enable him to discern the exact route, causing the Emperor to grow increasingly agitated. Meanwhile, Cloud is ordered by Nameless urgently approach Xingxi Men, where he learns of Wind's and Godless' pursuit of the tomb. Driven by determination, Cloud sets off without delay. However, after Heart successfully locates the entrance to the tomb, he and Godless arrive at the location only to find it empty, leaving the Godless puzzled. In a fit of rage, Heart begins to execute Emperor's wives one by one, threatening to murder his sons next. In the nick of time, Cloud intervenes, launching an attack on Heart, forcing him to retreat. The general in command, previously coerced into obedience by Godless, steps forward with his guards, shielding the Emperor and his family from further harm. Underestimating Cloud's skills, Godless engages in a fierce battle with him. Cloud employs his newly acquired sword techniques, unleashing a series of attacks, but Godless effortlessly parries each blow. Employing invisible threads, Cloud attempts to ensnare Godless, but before he can deliver the final killing blow, Godless counters, hurling Cloud aside. Amidst the struggle, a rock formation crumbles, revealing the entrance to the Dragon Tomb, where the great treasure of China lies hidden. Rushing towards the entrance, Godless stands before a skeletal figure clutching the legendary dragon bone. Before he can approach it, Cloud confronts him, ready to thwart his plans. Desperate to reach his goal, Godless launches an attack, attempting to draw Cloud closer for a final fiery strike. However, Wind arrives just in time, rescuing Cloud from Godless' clutches. Unfortunately, due to abandoning his training prematurely, Wind succumbs to the influence of the evil spirits, leading him to go against his people. During the intense confrontation, Wind becomes consumed by his inner darkness and turns against Cloud, engaging in a fierce battle with him. The two then exchange powerful blows while Godless seizes the opportunity to acquire the legendary dragon bone, capturing Wind's attention. Fueled by rage, Wind unleashes an evil kung fu attack, attempting to shatter Godless' invincible armor. However, his assault only further inflames Godless, who retaliates by striking Wind with a fiery attack, leaving him injured but undeterred. Refusing to be defeated, Wind rises to his feet and confronts Godless head-on, with Cloud joining forces with him against their common enemy. Together, they manage to overpower Godless, bringing him to the brink of death. Just as Cloud is about to deliver the final blow, Wind intervenes, preventing Cloud from executing Godless. This act prompts Godless to strike Wind with the dragon bone, leaving a deep cut on his head. Enraged by the wound, Wind retaliates, severing Godless' arm and seizing the dragon bone. With Cloud thrusting his sword into Godless' body, they succeed in eliminating Godless' invincible armor and killing him. However, instead of regaining his senses, Wind flees away with dragon bone, leaving the Emperor imploring Cloud to retrieve the bone, which holds the destiny of China. Driven by the urgency of the task, Cloud embarks on a search for Wind, eventually arriving at Xingxi Men. With information from Ghostly Tiger about Wind's presence in Nile Village, they hasten to confront him. In search of Wind, Second Dream approaches him at the place she mentioned to him in her letter. As Wind and Second Dream are approached by the Emperor's guards demanding the return of the dragon bone, Wind refuses to relinquish it, leading to a clash between the guards and Second Dream, who valiantly defends the disoriented Wind. However, just as the general is about to seize the bone, Heart appears on the scene, having escaped from the dragon tomb. A fierce struggle ensues between Heart and the general for control of the bone, resulting in its destruction. This catastrophic event unleashes the full force of the evil spirits, completely overtaking Wind and driving him into a state of uncontrollable rage. To save Wind from further harm, Cloud engages him in combat, leading them to a mountain summit. Despite their intense exchange of blows, the battle leaves Cloud wounded. In an attempt to reason with Wind, Second Dream approaches him, but her efforts prove futile as Wind launches an attack against her. Cloud intervenes, preventing Wind from harming Second Dream, yet she sustains injuries in the process. Overwhelmed by anger and sorrow, Cloud's sympathy for his friend prevents him from delivering the final blow to end Wind's life. However, Wind remains under the influence of the evil spirits, tossing Cloud aside. At that moment, Choo Choo arrives there, but Cloud and Second Dream's critical condition compels her to intervene. Instead of heeding her words, Wind launches an attack against her, killing her instantly. Choo Choo's tragic demise plunges Cloud into grief and fury, propelling him to engage Wind with his legendary sword technique. His strike severs Wind's head wound, freeing him from the clutches of the evil spirits and restoring his consciousness. The fierce battle causes the mountain cliff to crumble, leading to Wind and Second Dream falling from the heights. Reacting swiftly, Cloud leaps off the cliff, descending rapidly to employ the Cloud Pal technique and safely land Wind and Second Dream on the mountain top. However, in his selfless act, Cloud fails to protect himself and falls down, disappearing from sight. His sacrifice saves China and preserves the lives of Wind and Second Dream, but at the cost of his own well-being. The fate of Cloud, whether he perished or survived, remains shrouded in mystery, leaving those involved with unanswered questions that beg to be unveiled. The impact of his loss weighs heavily on Wind, burdening him with guilt for attacking his friend and inadvertently causing the death of Choo Choo. The story continues with the unresolved question of Cloud's ultimate destiny, leaving a lingering sense of uncertainty and longing for closure.